Thanks a lot, Marco. I'm happy to be here. Schibsted is a media company with several divisions. I'm here today to talk to you about classifieds. And we've grown fast in classifieds during the last years, and we have set ourselves a pretty ambitious target, because we say that we're targeting global leadership in classifieds. And we're doing it not so much by acquisitions, but actually by expanding the concepts that we have that are proven. So we're taking our Scandinavian concepts, mostly the Swedish blocky concept, and roll it out globally. And our aim is to reach leadership in many markets. And of course, we have now a quite substantial portfolio that we're monitoring closely. These days, of course, there's a lot of focus on the mobile and tech. How will the platform look like in the future? If you look at our portfolio, so we divide it into three main parts. The one part on the left here, that's our position in Norway, Sweden, and France. And you could say that we got a pretty dominant position there. Then we have several emerging leaders where we are the number one. We're still aiming to build traffic and strengthen the position. Then we have an exciting portfolio in emerging markets. Now, if you look on the left-hand side here, you can see Blocket, Finn, leboncoin. I think the theme here is how big can it get? And in Norway, Finn actually had all the cars and all the houses on their site in Norway 10 years back. Still, and people say, well, this is a mature business, how can you grow it more? Well, this company has grown double-digit the last 10 years after that. And we've been able to do that, and this is why I think this is such a great business, because once you have a leading position, you can continue to develop it, you develop new products, new services, like the ones that Martin mentioned, and you still have many things to grow out from. And since the theme is how big can it get, well, I can tell you, 6 years back we launched in France, and at that time, I didn't foresee that we would have a site with 7-8 billion page views per month, one of the biggest sites in Europe, that is still continuing to grow. Now, looking at some of our of our other positions, we're seeing that we've been in Italy for a number of years, and that's been a good development for us. And what we're seeing now is that this concept we're having is working. Things are a little bit different in Italy than in France, so it takes somewhat longer time. Cultural barriers, competition was different, but the concept works. Now, in Austria, we have launched a Finn model. We have a joint venture there together with Styria Group. That's a multi-vertical portal, and they are also now taking leading positions in vertical after vertical. Country quite Malaysia. The same concept that has worked in Sweden, that has worked in France, is also working in Malaysia. So that's why I believe this platform is actually very good to roll out. And I can tell you that, as some of you know, many competitors have copied us. I think that's a good sign that it actually works. Then it's interesting to see also in the mature market, with lots of internet-savvy people, broadband penetration, et cetera, it turns out this concept is also working, although it's been launched pretty late. And then also in Latin America, we've been successful launching it in Chile. So the classified concept seems to work very well in many, many different markets. And that's what makes me optimistic to the future. Now, the focus for us is really to build traffic. So I think what many people do is they start monetizing heavily at an early stage, and that is damaging the site. What you need to do, you need to focus on building the traffic. And what we focus on there is, of course, then how is the ads coming in. You need to have quality in your database, and you need to monitor that performance and competitors, of course. But we forsake monetization in the short term, could be for several years, because it's really important to build a marketplace, to get the buyers and sellers together, and build volume. So we're seeing that in the emerging markets, the year-on-year growth in number of ads is 70–80%. In some markets like Brazil, it's 150%. It's growing rapidly. Then, of course, the ads are different from market to market. So this is how they're selling their cars in Sweden. It's a little bit tough to markets. Then, Schibsted has also said that in the emerging markets, we need to strengthen our position. And we're seeing that the performance and the behavior is somewhat different, because people are really jumping the desktop and the laptops in the emerging markets, and what they're doing is going to mobile. So what we said, well, we need to have more knowledge about how to market to those consumers, and we need to have more knowledge about the mobile development. That's why we found Telenor, which is one of the leading global telecom providers, with 150 million mobile customers, and we now have partnership with them in South America and in Asia. We also have a partnership in Southeast Asia with Singapore Press Holdings. And what we're seeing is that partners have knowledge of local markets and have specific knowledge of the mobile market is very valuable for us. So I think this will strengthen our position and will make us in a better position to capture those markets. Now, let me finish off on a little bit of a different note, because for Biss here, he talked about how technology is saving the world, or how it potentially could do it. And people are asking us, well, what good are you doing for society with these classified sites? So we did an interesting study. What we did in Sweden was to calculate how is the effect that people are using, buying and selling used goods, instead of just throwing away things and buying new stuff. What's the effect on the environment? And we had there an official institute in Sweden who actually helped us calculate that. And they came back with a number and said, well, through this marketplace that you are providing, we're saving a total of 1.6 million carbon dioxide tons a year. Now, that didn't tell me very much until they translated it and said that this is equal to all the cars in Stockholm region standing still for 1 year. So I think classifieds is a great business to be in, and it's what we're seeing in Schibsted. It's developing well. I believe that it's good growth prospects, both in the mature markets, but also a lot in emerging markets, where we're investing heavily and will continue to do so in the years to come. And it's also then good to know that, well, we're actually also contributing in a good thing for society, because we are actually helping also the society in a very positive manner with our business.